Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Nadia Lutfa Kamalia. In this video, I would like to explain about my research proposal entitled Using Comic Strips in Teaching Narrative Text Writing, Students' Response. Research background. Writing is part of communication that is essential to be mastered and developed, as there have been lots of aspects in real life that are integrated with writing skills, such as in academics and careers. In the Indonesian educational context, the students are required to be able to write several kinds of text in English as fulfilling the basic competencies. However, English teachers should provide effective and appropriate media to assist the students in writing. One of them is comic strips. Comic strips are a series of pictures drawn in several panels that tells a story. Research on the use of comic strips as teaching media has been continuously conducted in developing the students' English abilities. However, those studies only focused on the students' writing but not focused on the students themselves. This takes the opportunity for future research to focus on how is the students' response toward the implementation of comic strips in writing narrative text, as those findings still not give clear and in-depth information related to the students' response. Based on the background stated before, this study aims to answer these questions. While the objective of this research are to explore the students' response and the issue occurring during the implementation of comic strips as a media to teach writing narrative text. Definition of key terms. There are 4 key terms used in this study. First, students' response. In this research, students' response stands for the psychological aspect of how the students' action and reaction towards their learning process in implementing comic strips and narrative writing text. Second, comic strips. Comic strips are a series of pictures that tell an amusing story that can be used as a visual learning media to teach and learn writing in English. Third, writing skill. Writing is one of the language skills used to communicate with others by conveying message through composing paragraphs and text in a written form in English by Indonesian EFL students. Fourth, narrative text. Narrative text is one of the genres of text that tells an imaginative story to entertain people. Literature review. Students' response is the students' action during the interaction process in the classroom. According to Rosenberg and Hovland, there are 3 components of attitude which is related to response. It can be called as tripartite models. The first component is cognitive, the second component is affective, the third component is cognitive. Previous research. Existing findings from these previous researches have pointed out the need for further exploration regarding how the students' responses during the implementation, as the results of it have not emerged. In relation with that needs, this research intends to explore the students' responses and the uses occurring during the implementation of comic strips in teaching narrative text writing. Methodology. Research design. This research will use qualitative research design to understand deeply the topic of the study and to report it in detail. Data and source of data. The data of this research are the students' response and the issues of problem occurring on the implementation of comic strips in teaching writing narrative text, while the sources of data will be the students at SMPN 3 Jombang who learn narrative text writing using comic strips. The data collection technique used in this study will be observation, which will be conducted on the learning process during the implementation of comic strips in teaching narrative text writing. Besides, semi-structured interviews will be conducted for the students for gaining deeper understanding. Data analysis techniques. The data analysis includes data preparation and organization, data transcription, coding, categorizing and theming, and interpretation. That's all from me. Thank you, and let's say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.